I did something I absolutely thought would be impossible on this trip. And that is I rented a car. My hostel host asked me when I checked in last night if I would like to, if I'd be interested in renting a car. And I was all like, oh, I'm not expensive and just whatever. The nature of my travel is just, to be reliant more on the public transport, etc. But then he's like, oh, it's only $40 a day. That includes all insurances. And I just, whatever. I just kind of wrote it off. And then I was looking at the map a little bit and decided, well, man, there are some things that would make it very much easier to get to. And so the convenience of it would probably be worth it. I'm down here now in Limones. Let's take a look at the map. It took me almost an hour to get down here, maybe a little less, but I was driving slow. And as I was driving down here, I started thinking, I was gonna take a cab down here, and to get down here and back with a cab easily would have cost me 40 bucks. And then of course the convenience of the car, and I'm gonna have it actually for 2 days. I'm gonna go somewhere else tomorrow. But this tiny little beach town, it barely qualifies as a town. Well, we've got a school here. And then after the school, of course, on down to the beach. It looks like the tide might be in because the water's really close. And then of course, down this road, which has got to be where the people live. And as I was coming on down here, there was also a security area because there's a huge oil refinery or pumping station. I don't know exactly what it is. I only got a little bit of video with my cell phone as I was driving through, and we can see what that area is like a little bit. But I had to check in, give my passport number and all sorts of stuff, drive through. That took 10 minutes maybe at the most. And then I handed this little card. They gave me something to put in the windshield to identify me that I had gone through the checkpoint. And then there was another checkpoint at the southern end of it. So as I'm continuing to come on down south here in Limones, then I'm just in this jungle area. There's signs everywhere, like this sign here. There's signs everywhere about protecting the primates, Ruta de los Primates. So I'm just going to wander around a little bit and see what this town is about. And if I feel comfortable shooting anything, that'll be certainly wonderful. Because whenever I'm photographing someone's house, I always feel a little bit like I'm intruding. And it's always nicer if the person is there that I can make some kind of, hopefully, personal connection with, and then they can give me permission to shoot. Usually that works really well. And then, of course, I feel very comfortable doing a shoot. So, yeah, let's walk around. There's going to be so many other places down here that I'm going to get to since I have my own car. My hope is to get to the very southern tip of this little peninsula, and that would just make my day. Now, I don't think I'll be able to drive down there, but I should be able to drive close enough to where I can walk down there. That would just absolutely make my day. Let's see what we find. Just met a really nice fellow named Fernando. He's actually camping out here. And I guess it's possible that he's homeless because he said he's looking for a job. But he didn't seem, I don't know, like desperate or whatever. He seemed very, very well, everything was going fine. He told me the tide is actually out. So that makes a lot more sense now that I'm down here. Just take a look at what I'm walking on. This is all wet up here. And so obviously the tide comes up to this area here. And they've got these rocks and things here to kind of help encourage the water to calm down and not erode the bank so much. And then we got lots of more rocks way over yonder. Oh, this is so wonderful. I was just thinking on the drive down here how awesome this is to be out here. Such a blessing. And I'm just like, how can I convey that to you guys? How can I I feel it's impossible to adequately convey, because it is just so amazing to have a rental car. It's so amazing to be down here. I like these end of the road type places. I love meeting the people that are in these end of the road type places. And so while I'm like feeling like a kid in the candy store right now, I'm also just hoping that I can make some good images too, because this is just absolutely awesome. So awesome. All right, let's get that camera out and we're gonna start shooting. So I'll just show you the first picture right now, and then we'll pick it up wherever we pick it up next, because there's just so much to see and so much to offer down here. This is a really cool spot. Just brilliant. Started off with that boat over there, came up towards these buildings up on the solid ground here, and saw a little bit of movement, these little salamanders, and had to switch to my big lens in order to get these shots. Oh, it was great. This is heaven on earth, let me tell you. This is the kind of thing I wish I could do more and more and more of. Is to call this fun is an understatement. To call this exciting, to call this a pure enjoyment, it's all an understatement. To soak in all of the activity, all the beauty, all the amazing things that are here, I am loving it. Seeing all these different options for photos too. I just need to quit recording, quit talking to you, and I need to get back to shooting. I mean, just look at this place. It feels like sandstone beach. It's not a hard stone. Sometimes it crumbles under my feet. These other boats with these buzzard looking like birds. I mean, there's just so much to feast to the eyes upon and to get excited about, creatively and photographically speaking. Such a beautiful spot. I've only been here about an hour and I've walked maybe 500 feet as I'm continuing on up the beach and continuing to find what unfolds before me. I am having more fun than a human being should be allowed to have. Oh my goodness. And there's even more. Check this out, man. Holy cow. What I'm talking about is those little crabs. I might go ahead and get the long lens back out and photograph them from afar, because what I ended up doing was I put my camera set to video 10 millimeters, holding it upside down and just running along, getting really close, and got a couple of crabs going into their holes and digging sand out and all that good stuff. But to get pictures of the crabs themselves, I'm obviously going to need to zoom in on them because they are skittish, and boy do they run quick. And these guys, I don't know what they're doing, but they're creating little sandballs or something, or maybe they're eating, I don't know. So I'm going to zoom in and grab a few shots. You know, you could also think the fact that it's pretty much high noon, 3 minutes till, that the lighting is absolutely horrendous for shooting during this time. And right now is the rare occasion where a cloud has moved out of the way, and we do have the harsh sun kind of sort of coming out, casting some shadows, and otherwise I just don't have that. It is a very soft box, very large soft box in the sky, so to speak. And when I have that, I'm finding some really good options, paying attention to the subject, maximizing the subject, the view of the subject as best as possible, paying attention to those design principles so that we can make sure that we're on par with visual interest, and trying to make sure that the things that we're showing are helping you, the viewer, to interpret and understand the image rather than getting in the way. So the lighting usually is okay. It will certainly only get better from here, and I am planning on staying out until very near sunset, if not absolute sunset. The sun will set over that way, so the water, that's east, and so that's where the sun would rise. I doubt we're gonna have any color, because what usually happens is just really thick clouds, and so we don't get any color. But you know, I'm gonna certainly be keeping an eye on it, and if it looks promising, you bet your last dollar I'm coming back here to that pier, to these boats. I'm gonna have such an amazing time if we get color tonight, because I do plan to stay out until the very end, as it were. I've got plenty of water, I've got a little bit of food. The problem with walking a place like this is that when I see something down yonder like it there, I'm always like, oh, what's around that corner? What's around that little bend? What's over that little tiny hill? Whatever. And I keep wanting to go and go and go. Been here about an hour and a half already, and no sign of quitting, but I got other things I want to get to. There's a place down at the very tip that is supposed to be the marker stone that is the border between Costa Rica and Panama, and I would love to get that. The fellow I talked to back yonder, the guy that's camping here, he said that he walked down there 2 days ago, and so, you know, that's just giving me some inspiration to do that. So I want to take the road as far south as possible, and then I'll just get out and walk and continue walking. All right, I have come around this corner, and I'm going to determine that I'm not going to go any further. I'm going to go ahead and turn around and start walking back, and by doing so, I'm going to shoot, of course, on the way back, but I'll just slowly head back to the car, have a little bit of lunch, and then move on to the next spot and see what I can find else down here off the further south from Limones, as far south as I can go. If possible, the very tip where that marker stone is between the two nations of Panama and Costa Rica. Okay, I think my beach shooting is over, but you know, always leave the possibility for the last shot to come. Like the one I got of that gal painting back there. Actually got several, but just kind of approached her and just asked her. Thankfully I know enough Spanish to be able to ask her if I could photograph her while she's painting. And she was very sweet and allowed it to happen, and got that little extra thing that just helps tell the story of what it's like out here, how wonderful these people are, and what this region is just like. Actually, I'm liking this little thing here. Got a little bit of a cove sort of a thing. I didn't see it on my way out, but right here, right in the middle between these two boats, and of course I got the third boat there in the water, I've been looking for a shot that would be conducive to using my 10-stop, well, it's not a polarizer, just a 10-stop neutral density that will really slow down the exposure on a day like today. It's going to transform everything, and on a wide angle like this, I think it's gonna be cool. That is my prediction. I will get to see it tonight as I process the image, or tomorrow, depending on when I process the image. I guess you can tell me, what do you think? Was this cool? Was this a waste? Certainly that boat that's in the water is gonna be a little bit blurry. The flags obviously are blurry. The people on the dock are gonna blur out. Lots of details will get lost, but lots of details, because of those others that get lost, lots of other details come forth. All right, back to the car, as I said before, and moving on, getting ready for my next shot. All right, I'm driving more south, going very slow, because the road is very rough. It was pavement for another mile or so, and now it's a gravel road that is just really rough. And this little Kia was not made for this kind of road, but I've got another car behind me that's roughly the same style of car. Looks like they're slightly higher ground clearance than I am, but that's all right. We're going nice and slow. It is 6 kilometers to the next point in the road where it branches off, and then probably another 2 kilometers beyond that to the very edge, which is the ocean. So I've got a little thing on the map that I'm showing you as I'm driving down here. Of course, it is way sped up compared to what I'm doing. That's thanks to my GPS watch and its abilities to, of course, track me, and then I can play it back, which is sometimes pretty fun. And check this out. Someone lives way out here. Maybe I'll have to walk the rest of the way, because this is what I have on the road. These rocks here. Oh, maybe they're not as bad as they look, but oh my goodness. I'm just gonna go super slow. And if it crunches, then I'll just reverse out of it. I hope. Oh yeah. Oh. Hey, so far, no scrapes. Oh, that's so good. I think I'm gonna go try and remove a rock, actually, out of the road. It looks too high. Because I want to split the difference and put one wheel over there. Oh goodness, this is a massive rock. I don't think that's moving anywhere. Okay. This is going to require some concentration, so off with the camera. Alright, we are almost at the end. This is what the map looks like for the Google Maps through Apple CarPlay in the car. And there's supposed to be a hotel down here as well. At least I saw something listed on the map anyway. Looks like it's gonna kick me right out onto the beach, possibly. Photographically, something like this, I guess I can say is a bit of a risk, kind of a huge risk. Because if I get down here and there's just nothing that looks intriguing or nothing that looks like it's gonna give me a good photo, then of course it seems like I've wasted my time. But, oh man, there's a pier out there. Seems misplaced since it's just so high up, etc., but whatever. I see previous tracks in the sand, so I'm going to assume I'm not going to sink in the sand, but I can guarantee you I am not going far. Although again, out here, it looks like it's solid. And here is the building, so that must be the hotel that Google Maps was talking about. But like I was saying, it can be a risk, it can seem like a waste of time, but let's face it, coming out here was loads of fun driving. Even though it was rather hair-raising at times. That's a benefit of being bald, I guess. But I'm here now, I'm parked in the shade. This is just great. So I will quit rambling and babbling and I will get to shooting. I do have someone way down there on a tractor. I saw someone on a tractor earlier as I was pulling out of Limones. That must be them. It's the same kind of tractor. Anyway. Oh my, another building out here. This is way more than I expected. The light is really coming in pretty harshly right now. The clouds have thinned out a bit. Yeah, so this is that hotel, actually. I was thinking the first building was, but this definitely is that hotel. I tell you, I wouldn't mind staying here if it was slightly easier to get to. But that's part of the charm of it as well. It's just how much of a chore it is to get here. But for some reason, I'm just not really feeling it here. But I'm just not seeing much of what would make a good photograph. You know, this tractor looks like he's pulling another tractor or some other type of thing. Even that boat out there, for some reason I'm just starting to lose interest in that. That's part of the creative process anyway, too, is if you're not feeling into it, if for some reason it's not floating your boat, if I can use that metaphor, then you have a choice to make. You can either force yourself to do something, or you can just enjoy the fact that you're here, recognize that it's gorgeous and wonderful, but you know, if it's not floating your boat, it's time to move on, and it's time to it's okay to recognize that you need to move on. I'm gonna go ahead and lock the car since I failed to do that when I got out. This whole idea of the creative process too, it's something that is, it can feel rather nebulous, I guess. It can feel that it's both everything and nothing. It's useless. And that's what's crazy about it. But this is also why I come back to say the process makes it possible. Check out this. It must be a lifeguard stand. And when you dedicate yourself to going to the ends of the possibilities, in this case, it feels like the ends of the earth. When you dedicate yourself to turning over every rock, to use another metaphor, to really strive to see, to uncover, to discover what could be, what can be, what should be, maybe. And you still come up with nothing, hey, that's okay. It's time to be okay with that kind of stuff. And you move on and you go until you do come across that thing that strikes your creative funny bone, that strikes you, that says, all right, this is going to be an amazing photograph. Because some of you could probably be here and you'd go wild. And you would just say like, oh, this is amazing, that's amazing, this is awesome, this is great. And it's possible that I'm already tainted because of the great experience I had over there at Limones. Okay, I think I'm just going to head on out of here. Because I am not seeing anything that just absolutely says, you've got to get this shot, you've got to make this into a photograph. And so I'm gonna just go ahead and head on out of here, drive on back up that road and head on down the next way. I don't think I would come back here for that sunset shot. It would be way difficult to drive that at night, and I'm not looking forward to doing that. All right, so I'm gonna continue on in the hunt for that marker that delineates the border of Panama and Costa Rica, right on the edge of the water, or close to the edge of the water. So let's go see what we can do. I'm sure we'll find something else between now and then, and that's quite all right. I'm just a little bit past 6 miles since I started the gravel road sections. Of course, I took that one side track. Oh, that's a pretty big rock off to the left. Decided not to shoot there. And I'm averaging probably right now less than 1 kilometer an hour. But thankfully, in places like this, it's more common than not to have it paved in these dips like this. So that's very, very much appreciated. Because doing a dip like this, something this steep with all those gravels, I'm pretty sure this car would not be able to handle it. And there are, surprising to me anyway, there are a lot of houses out here still. And there's even a little town out here that has a school, and I just passed a school back there. So there are quite a few people that live out here. And so that is a little bit of a surprise to me. But I guess it shouldn't surprise me. I have about a mile left, maybe a mile and a quarter left before this road gets to the border with Costa Rica. Once we get in that neighborhood of the border area, I don't know exactly what this is going to turn into. If I have to if it opens up and I can walk, because, you know, take a look at this. Everything around here, number one, is fenced. But number two, I would not be walking through that, even if it wasn't fenced. I just am not prepared to walk through that kind of bush, grass, whatever you wish to call it. And of course, everything being, it seems like I would guess it's private property since it is fenced off. And we do have some structures like this here for horses or cattle. But yeah, getting down there to this marker stone, I might have to cross into Costa Rica first, and then it can come back and I can walk along the beach to get there. I just honestly have no idea what it's going to entail. So we're getting there. Almost to that point. Where's my phone? Right now I am, oh come on. Right now I'm almost to the Bella Vista de Limones. I would guess a quarter of a mile to a third of a mile from that little teeny town. That's the one that has a little school in it and whatnot. And so that is almost the end of the road. That's where the road splits and it goes into Costa Rica and then also off into another direction here into Panama. But nothing goes directly south. As far as the map is concerned, nothing goes directly south, continues directly south from that town. Hey, another paved section, so we must be going down a steep area. The map has me very close to the border with Costa Rica, but just back yonder there was actually another little road that I could walk down. I don't know if it was a private road or if it was public access, and it is not on the map at all. And I'm tempted to just go do that because it would be about 3/4 of a mile of a walk one way, and I can easily do that. It's just that it might veer off a little bit to the left, and if it does that, then of course we are going to extend that hike. All right, and the road has very slightly changed, and the power went onto the other side of the road, and the map says I'm in Costa Rica now. So welcome to Costa Rica, and I've got a vehicle coming up. I don't know. Oh, they're turning on a road that I don't see on the map, so that's even better. All right, that is private property where they turned into, so that would make sense why I don't see it on the map. All right, so it's about another mile via the road until it gets to the ocean. And then once I get to the ocean, I'm guessing I'll have to walk along the beach to get where I want to go. I can't help but think that this is an illegal border crossing because I don't have someone to check my passport and all that kind of stuff. And I'm also thinking about the guy that owns the car. I told him where I wanted to go, but he didn't say I couldn't take the car into Costa Rica, but I also didn't ask specifically if I could. So I'm in a little bit of no man's land here as far as knowing my legalities and such. The road thus far on the Costa Rican side is a lot less gravelly, a lot less rocky, way more dirt-like and smooth. It just has potholes. So I guess you can choose your poison. Do you want the fairly rough gravel and not as many potholes, or do you want the smooth dirt that comes with potholes? All right, about a half a mile or less. Well, shoot, it's hard to judge. I'm gonna guess a half a mile until the coast, until the beach. Looking forward to that. It seems my plans are foiled a little bit. I am very close, less than a quarter of a mile to the ocean, and I've got this thing in my way, and the track going around it, my car cannot handle. And it looks like going further, my car cannot handle. So I will have to reverse out of here and go back that other direction and see if that trail can work for me that I saw back yonder on the Panama side. So the Costa Rican side was a bust, and now I'm taking this trail, sort of. It's effectively a road right now, but it very quickly turns to dirt up there. I've heard a couple of voices also coming from this area. I've got a house here, and who knows what else. I will stay on the very clear path, the very clear trail, and I still have my GPS watch going, so we can track this and you can see exactly where I'm going. If you ever want to trace my footsteps, you'll know exactly where this road is. But I'm also going to ask the first person I see if this is a private road, because if it is, I don't want to be trespassing. And then I'll just have to scratch this whole idea. I hope I don't have to scratch this whole idea, because it would be amazing to get down there. I guess the question for you though, is this too much effort for the pursuit of one photo? And it may totally not work out in the end anyway, because this might be a dead end and it might not work out at all. Time will tell. And even if it doesn't work out, I'm okay with that. I would rather have tried, whoops, nice mud puddle there. I would rather have tried and failed rather than just not try at all, that is for sure. So I made a good effort of it, and doing my best to make it happen, coming at it from multiple angles. I even went into another country trying to get this done, but it's possible that it's just simply not going to work out. Yeah, it looks like, well, number one, I've got another car down here, but I've got a fence, a gate of some sort. Not sure how that car made it past this mud, but apparently it did. It must be more of an SUV. So I'm gonna get down there and we'll see what happens. It is definitely an SUV, and I also hear a tractor, and it looks like this just goes straight to a field that is just being tilled, plowed, what have you. And that means I'm not gonna be able to proceed. It is obviously not a continuation of some type of public access, and I don't have anyone here to ask if it's okay for me to continue. So this is going to be the kind of thing where I just have to accept my losses. Had a lot of fun trying, and I'm going to go try and get to the next one. But let's take a quick look here. Oh, something. Ooh, there is a trail that does continue on. Take a look here. It's narrower, it's off to the left. Okay, I think I'm truly at the end of my road where I must decide to turn back. The little pathway I'm on curved a little bit off to the left once again. It just continues on up there. There's no obvious area in sight where it starts going south once again, which is of course what I need to do if I want to get to the ocean and then get to that marker stone. I think there's a marker stone there because when you click on the item in Google Maps, there's a picture that someone posted. They were either standing next to where the stone was there, or just something was there anyway. And that got me going. I was like, well, it's obviously possible to get there somehow, so let's try and make it happen. But my feeble attempts here to get close are feeble at best, and I don't think it's going to happen, at least not this way. And what on earth is this? There's a couple of these items here, right, on the fence attached to those trees. It's amazing. I have no idea though. Maybe they're some kind of ants, maybe it's some kind of termites or something along those lines, and that's how they build their nest. I have no idea, but first time I've seen anything like that, so I just thought that was weird and cool. Oh, so back to the car and let the journey continue. Hey, something to celebrate. I'm finally off those terrible rocky roads and on regular pavement. So that's cool. However, it is raining, and that was almost, that was 3 3/4 of a mile just to Bella Vista from where the pavement ended. So anyway, it is also raining, and my plan was to go back to Limones for sunset, which is an hour and 40 minutes from now. And I really don't feel like waiting that long in the rain. Plus, that just means with this style of clouds and the like, absolutely no color going to come out, and it's going to be just dark early. So I'm going to sign off. I'm going to end this video. I'm going to end this this experience for today, and I invite you to hit that like button for sure. Hit that subscribe button, and I'm also just loving the idea if you would give a comment. Let me know what you think about various things. Maybe I'm a chicken for not doing any shots in the rain, but it's raining pretty good. I love it though. That rain does not stop those kids from playing in the street. Very cool. So anyway, so long for now. We'll pick it up next time, and until then, God bless and happy shooting.